Little fruit salad. Sanbonani, Dumelang, Goeiemorgen, Dumeliso, salutations and molweni. Welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. I am a little bit sick. I'm recovering from the cold, but I will try to speak as much as possible. I think so. Thank you, Masha.
Big up friend Iron.
Yes. What? Kacabo? Teraz kichimeni ke? Sek baba. Kok ni ke zaman guys? Mas sampai. So, for the past few videos, I have been talking a lot about really starting to build the necessary attitudes and mindsets and habits and, you know, all the things that you need to do or that I need to do, that we all need to do to become better versions of ourselves. For me specifically, in the context of being an artist and working on my craft and like trying to just really actualize my potential and, you know, just work as hard as I possibly can and utilize the gifts and the skills and the opportunities that I'm given. And so I've really gotten back into the habit of writing. It's become a custom practice. That's the first C that I'm discussing today. And it makes me really happy because I haven't been doing this for a while now. If you don't know me, I'm a musician, or yeah, singer, musician. I've been studying music since I was 9 years old. I've been singing since I was like 3, 4, 5, around there. And I've always been passionate about it. I've always wanted to make music, and I've always wanted to sing on stages. And I've been fortunate enough to, experience some of those things. Now, the only thing is, I feel like in the last 2 years. Oh, and I also just want to say, like, if you've heard that for the 100th time, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep repeating it because I don't know why, but you're just gonna have to keep hearing it. If you don't know, now you know. What was I saying? Oh, so for the last 2 years, I haven't really given time and energy to writing music specifically. I think it's just about the fact that like there's been a lot of change in my life. And so I've been trying to adjust, trying to embrace everything, and I've just been trying to live in the moment. And so sometimes sitting down for the quiet moments and just doing all of that thinking and all of that brain work is sometimes something that you run away from because you always want like the more exciting things like going outside or doing activities that involve people, or even when you're doing activities alone, things that are not necessarily so still physically. And so I haven't been writing for the longest time. And I remember the first time I started writing music seriously. I want to say I've been writing music since I was 5 years old, like genuinely. Or maybe not 5, maybe that's a lie. Maybe like 7. Yeah, I feel like ever since I started learning how to write, I've been writing music. And I've also been freestyling songs. Like I remember when I was much younger, and like my dad would be like running marathons and stuff like that, while my mom and I were like going around to like go to the different stop points, like check on him and everything. I always had my tablet with me, and I'd always like be singing these songs, like just freestyling these songs. And I wish I had access to them because I'm pretty sure I ate. Anyways, thinking about when I started seriously writing music though, like when I started writing songs that I feel like still today I would release, and I would perform publicly, that was around matric. And I think the whole objective for me was about proving to myself that I can write music, because in the same way that today or for the past few videos I've been talking about how one daydreams about being an artist in their career and being successful one day, and my time to be a child is running out. And so I need to start actually putting in the work to make sure that those dreams become a reality. In the same way that, that relationship is now starting to happen. That was happening with music for me as well, in the sense that, like, when I was younger, I would always tell myself that, like, oh, I'm going to be a singer who's, like, very involved in the process. I'm not going to just, like, show up and sing the songs. I'm going to write the songs. I'm going to co-produce. I'm going to make sure that, like, I make bodies of work that are cohesive and impactful and, that are just revolutionary and beautiful. And it was so fun to speak about those things, and to be a child who can sing and who can write. And so I therefore had the potential to become that kind of artist. But I was 17 years old and I was like, listen, there are artists who release music when they were 15 years old. And so, quite frankly, like, if you think that you're going to be able to write music, you should get into the habit of doing it now. OMG, also. From Father's Day, when my dad and I went to the place. How cute! We real cute. I don't know if the lighting is like fine, but It's just like a time terrorizing me, terrorizing me. Even though I knew I probably was not going to release the music that I was writing in matric, I just wanted to prove to myself that I'm capable of writing melodies and writing whole songs and sequencing them so that it can become a body of work. It was just an EP that I finished writing, but I was really proud of it, and maybe I'll release some of the songs or one of the songs, or I don't know, maybe I'll do something with it one day. But I did that, and I was really pleased with myself because I felt like I had really accomplished something, and I had managed to take something that I always spoke about and made it more of a reality that I really can write and I can put together a body of work. And then I just stopped doing it. I moved on, life hit me, and 2 years later, I thought to myself, wow, I have not actually been writing music as aggressively as I thought I would be and as consistently as I thought I would be. So I decided this holiday, as I started doing some introspection and reflection and really thinking about like this series and really starting to do that work, and I was like, you know what, I really think it's time to stop talking about a lot of things and start doing a lot of them. So this is that. But I think more than anything, it's just that thing you would see. It's just a trial and error. Whatever like works for you, would see. Just as long as you have a nice environment. You know what I mean? And then there's community, the second C. I feel like I show the second C a lot throughout my videos. I really love the people I surround myself with, my friends and my family. They motivate me, they inspire me, they make me happy. They center me, they ground me, and they remind me of myself, The actual reason why I went to the mall this day is because I was meeting up with one of my cousins, my sister, and it was just really great to catch up with her. And I feel like sometimes when you really get to speak to people and spend time with people who have known you forever, but you haven't seen them in a long time, it really just reminds you of yourself. It really just brings you back to yourself, brings you back to like all of those things that you want for yourself and that you want for them, and all of those, sometimes you just lose sight, So this was really great to have that. And on to the third C, creativity. I feel like creativity and custom are really interlinked because they essentially speak to the same thing. I just want to first of all say that it's so heartbreaking when you take like a lot of videos and you capture a lot of things, but because of my storage, I can't actually show it all. So there are a bunch of other things that I actually wanted to show regarding this little segment, or this little the little third installment of the video. However, my phone literally will not allow me to get those videos back from the iCloud, and I just had to delete them in order to even be able to edit everything now. But also, I mean, the very real truth is the fact that I do everything on my phone, which like everybody always gasps at, like when I tell them that, they're like, oh my gosh, like what do you mean you don't have like a camera and like a MacBook and like a USB? And like, no girl, I just started. Okay, and she's frugal. Let me be, because I've gotten this far with my phone. And also, I mean, the way that like phones in general, but the iPhone specifically is marketed, is that like it's a camera and a laptop and a recording studio and this and that and a bank, and it's everything in one. So like when I bought this, I was thinking, oh yes, I'm gonna use this phone for everything. So let me do that, please. But yeah, anyways, speaking about creativity and speaking about custom, so I'm glad that I've started getting back into the habit of doing those things. I think now it's about doing those things with direction and intention. And so I think it's great to just create freely, but I think that also creating within restriction really helps you a lot. In fact, in theater, a lot of the time they tell us that like restriction is what really brings out the real creatives. And I saw that with one of the performances that we had done. It's in one of my videos. I want to say it's in both the Artist's May's vlogs. There's two vlogs that are this Artist's May. Part 1 and part 2 speak about like Macbeth, and we were limited in terms of set and props and lighting and sound, and so we made this beautiful physical theater piece out of that because we relied on our bodies, and we were like, you know what, if we're not going to get like the budget, or we're not going to be given access to all the other technical things that make a show, we as the performers are going to become that. And so I think it's the same with kind of all forms of creation, that like, especially even thinking about writing and creating music, that it's great to create freely, but it's also important to know what you're saying, have a theme or have a sound or have, I don't know, a direction and an intention and a goal with the kind of music that I'm making. And therefore it allows me to create with a lot more intention, and it allows me to create a lot more effectively, because instead of my mind being everywhere, instead of the possibilities being limitless, it's like, okay, these are the cards that I'm being dealt with, and this is what I have to work with, and what can I make that is going to be the best that it possibly can be with these few tools. And so I'm starting to do that a bit, you know, in terms of like, what sound am I going for? What instrumentation am I going for? You know, what access do I have to all of these things that I have in my mind? And I think it's allowing me to create things that I feel like I'm going to be proud of, and things that I'm going to be able to look back on, and I feel like they have depth, and they speak to me as a human being, and they speak to my community and my generation and our time. I feel like I might be like not hyping it up, but I might make it sound like something more than it is. I just don't know how else to, you know, articulate it besides that. Like, I just want to make music that I feel like is reflective of myself and reflective of the people who I would want to enjoy it. And I think that that's ultimately what's so important, because again, as I've said, like, we're all complex people, and so that includes me. And so I have my own context and my own expectations that I had for myself when I was younger, and there were different sounds that I was listening to and different genres that I was really going deep into. And so I've now grown out of some of those things, and I want to honor some of those things. So I think it's about, you know, just finding that balance. But yeah, anyways, that's it. Bye.